Guys, I literally recorded an entire fucking episode and I don't think any of it fucking worked. And I'm on my period. What else more could go fucking wrong? I just love everything. Let me just chill real quick. Because now I have to do another episode and I feel like it's not going to be authentic if I talk about the same thing that I was going to originally talk about. So we're going to pick another topic from what people have sent in. Okay. It's fine. Let me just mentally get in a space where I can speak. I'm going to say someone because everything's anonymous. I'm never going to put anyone's name out there because I'm not fucking psychotic. Well, I don't know. Depends on who you ask. But someone feels like they have outgrown their friend group. They still love them, but the conversations don't feed or serve them in their life anymore. What would you do in this situation? Have you ever gone through this? This is a really good topic because I actually think almost every single person goes through this. I had made a video. So originally I started on TikTok. I started posting on TikTok and that's kind of how my platform first started. I don't really post on TikTok anymore just because I literally get filtered for every fucking video I post. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so I don't really post on there anymore. But I did post a video a while ago talking about wavelengths. And if you're listening to the audio version of this episode, like I need you to envision this because I do think like I made this video. I talked about it like I think 2 years ago and it's like popping off right now. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because when I first posted it, it didn't pop off, but now it's popping off. So, but it's relevant to this. So anyways, I do think this is a very good thing to speak about. So whenever I think about situations like this, I picture wavelengths that people are on. Everyone's on a different wavelength, right? Everyone's on a different frequency in life. I don't want to filter myself with how I say anything. So take it for how it is. If you're going to take it the wrong way, you're going to take it the wrong way. But the people who understand what I'm about to say know that this is true and like deep down in their fucking soul. Personally, what I experienced is I just got to a point where I felt like I was just outgrowing individuals in my life. We just weren't on the same wavelength. Now, in the video version, you can see that I'm like holding up my hands, right? We all start right here. Well, different things start happening in life that are going to take people down to certain wavelengths. Some people never want to grow up. There are people who are 50, 60, 70 years old that still function at a 16-year-old level, and that's just real. Some people will never outgrow toxicity and immaturity ever. And that's also not your job to get them to outgrow that. If people don't want to grow in life, if people don't want to mature and want more in life, that's on them. But so there's wavelengths. The nicest people that I have met in my life, or the most accepting people, are the most damaged and toxic individuals. And let me go more into that. Let me explain it because people are going to, freak out when I first say that. Like, oh, that's so rude. Well, I don't give a fuck if it's rude. I'm not here to wrap things in a pretty gift box and fucking hand it to you so you take it a certain way. I'm just going to say it for how it is. People who are on lower levels than you are going to be kind and accepting because they want you down on their wavelength. You're up here, they're down here. They are never going to come up to your wavelength. You are going to have to go down to theirs if you want them in your life. And I feel like you can apply this to situations in your life or toxic friend groups and not even necessarily toxic, but just ones that don't want to grow the fuck up, which in my head, I do view that as toxic because I feel like the whole point of life is to literally evolve and become better each and every day. And if you're not doing that, you're fucking stupid. and you're wasting your life. There's like two kinds of people in life. There's people who are like, oh, in another life, I would do this, or in another life. And then there's other people that are like, no, you have one fucking life. If you want something, go fucking get it. You're going to have two different people in life, and you have to be very careful with who you choose to be in your circle, because you do have a choice of who you have in your circle. And that goes for family too. That literally goes for family. Just because people have certain titles does not give them an automatic pass to be in your circle. And I think that's also important to know, because there are such things as toxic family members who will bring you down to their wavelengths because it makes them feel better. So this wavelength thing that I talk about is very, very real. And I feel like if you've been in situations like this, it makes sense to you. You're like, yeah, that's so real. The nicest people. I had the most friends when I was partying. I literally had so many friends. And yes, I put that in quotations because I don't consider them actual friends. They were my good time friends, right? They weren't actually my friends that gave a fuck how my life was going or what I was doing. And I had my oh shit moment. And I also talked about this in my video is, you are going to have an oh shit moment in your life. And if you choose to ignore it, and you keep living the way that you're living and keep hanging around the people that you're hanging around and keep partying the way that you're partying, you are never going to leave that scene. You will continue to stay at that wavelength the rest of your life. Yeah, you might get married, but it's people that stay in that kind of wavelength or friend group that they just marry each other, they cheat on each other, they end up divorced at 50, and they're back in the bars again. And it just it's a pattern that just repeats. And I've seen this so many times in life. I've seen this in so many adults in life. I've seen it in personally, in that I've watched, people that I know. It's a real thing. But I had my oh shit moment, and I was partying. My partying phase was not long at all. Like, I gotta be real right now. It was like a couple months, and it was after a breakup that I went through. So it kind of made sense. But anyways, I was very drunk. And I had all these friends, and I had plans every weekend. I knew what I was doing every weekend. I'll tell you that. I knew where I was going. I knew who I was going to be with. But I was in the bathroom, drunk, staring at myself. As a lot of us do when we're drunk. And that's when you realize you're drunk, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, what the fuck? Anyways, I was looking at myself, and I had my oh shit moment. And I was like, none of these people give a fuck about me. No one actually gives a flying fuck about me here. And to be honest with you, I don't think I really give a flying fuck about them. What I care about is just where we're meeting up next Friday. And so did they. It wasn't just me. That was my oh shit moment. And I realized in that moment that if I didn't get out of that scene, that I would stay in that scene the rest of my life. And it was not going to serve me in any kind of way. I think if you're a person that has kind of gone through these phases in life, you know exactly what I mean when I say your oh shit moment, where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? You're like looking around. It's like the song Here by, what's her name? Alicia or whatever. I don't even know. That's literally that song is literally describing the oh shit moment. You're like, I don't fucking want to be here. I don't care about any of you. You don't fucking care about me. We all just, what are we doing? Lucky for me, I was young, right? I had the excuse of being young, out of a breakup. It was only a couple months that I went through this phase, and I got the fuck out. To this day, I still know people that are in it. I still know people that are still hanging out with that same crowd, and they're not doing jack shit with their life. They're not doing anything. And I can promise you that a lot of these people will probably still be doing it, the same thing at 45. Now, me, I'm not saying you can't have fun in life, right? And I think if you are a common sense individual, I'm not saying that, right? Like, yeah, you can still let loose every now and then. But if that's your entire life, like, what are you doing, bro? Like, that's sad. It's sad. Like, I genuinely think it's sad. So, yeah, like when I had my biggest amount of friends, it's when I was living this lifestyle because it was easy to maintain friends in that friend group. No one had any expectations of anyone because no one actually cared about anyone. And I think a lot of people like view only having like a couple real friends or a small circle as bad. And I'm like, that's an accomplishment. You're lucky if you get like two really good fucking down to earth ride or die friends that stay your friends through every phase of life and who are on their own journey of, evolving and doing shit with their life and not just a fucking dumb fuck not doing anything. Like that is a blessing. That is a blessing. It is better to be the boring friend than the fun friend. The boring friend is the friend that goes to the gym, that has a job that pays their bills, that is working for something more in their life. And the fun friend is the one that just wants to party, that is sending where everyone's meeting up and doing all that. And people are going to take this the way that they want. And it's easy to take what I'm saying and being like, oh my God, so I can't have fucking fun. Bitch, I'm not saying that, you stupid fuck. Like, actually listen to what I'm saying for a second and try to apply it in some kind of way before you're like, oh, you just don't know how to have fun. Bitch, I know how to have fucking fun. Okay? But anyways, yeah, so people, in order to stay friends with people like that, you're going to have to come down to their level. They are never going to meet you up at yours because that requires something of them, and they don't like that. They don't like it. And I think that's a good way to weed out toxic friends or family or whatever it is if people aren't willing to come up to your, and listen to the words I'm saying, come up to your wavelength in order to be a part of your life. If they're not willing to come up and be better than themselves, you don't really want them in your life because you shouldn't have to come down to be in theirs. That's expecting less of yourself. And I feel like that's very degrading. And consciously, you're telling yourself, is it subconsciously or consciously? I don't fucking know. My brain's fried, okay? Shut the fuck up. Don't want to hear it. You are telling yourself that is where you're at. That is what you want. That is, like, I think you end up in this toxic cycle where you just start telling yourself something other than truth. And that's a very toxic thing to get into and to stay stuck in. People get stuck. Mark my words, people who live like this and who don't evolve and stay in groups like this and don't leave the friends you can still love these people. You can still genuinely care and want the best for them. But that doesn't mean that you have to bring yourself down to a level that no longer serves you in order to keep them in your life. You can love people from a distance. And like, I love you, but I can't meet you down at your level because I expect more of myself. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think anyone with the fucking brain can respect that. I think that's very mature and very respectable. I mean, I bet some people can think of people right now who are in their fucking 40s living like they were when they were 16, and it's like, dude, like, are you ever gonna grow up? It's like you have this Peter Pan syndrome, and it's sad. It's almost like sad to watch because you want to save them, you want to like help them so bad, but you literally can't. you'll kill yourself trying to help these people. You're going to kill yourself literally. Fuck, I don't know if I can say that. You're going to harm yourself, hurt yourself, trying to save these people who don't even want to be saved. I think something that I've learned as I've matured and as I've gone through my own experiences is people are exactly where they want to be. People are exactly where they want to be. And there's people that I know that have been complaining about the same thing for years. And then I'm starting to be like, do you like your problems? Like, I feel like you genuinely like your problems at this point. I feel like you don't even know how to function when you don't have your problems. And it goes back to the whole quote, like, what you're not changing, you're choosing. It plays into people are exactly where they want to be. And it's really hard to accept that when you're someone who deeply loves and cares for people in your life, because you can almost see the path that they're going down that they can't even see for themselves. And you're like, no, like, let me fucking save you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And you can't do anything. All you can do is love them from a distance, because if you try to save them, you will end up drowning yourself in their problems that they actually like. Some people thrive in chaos, and I feel like that's a lot of like some things that some people like literally need to like unteach themselves is it's okay to like live in peace. It's okay to like not have constant fucking chaos all the time. And to some people who, grew up in chaos and that's their normal, it's weird when it's peaceful. It's weird when there's silence. It's weird when they're in a safe environment. They almost don't know how to fucking function. And it's literally something you have to teach yourself to value. Some people literally have to teach themselves to value peace because it's uncomfortable. And I'm mature enough to know that. Like, that is a very real thing. But when it comes to this whole friend situation, and again, it doesn't have to deal with just friends. It is family too. It's like you have to be okay with knowing a lot of people really are exactly where they want to be. And if they complain about certain things and whatnot, but they're not even doing anything to try to change it, it's because they like their problems. It's because they like it. That's all they know. And you literally can't save them. I feel like that was really good. I feel like I said a lot of good things. I think it's just important to realize that, like, not having a lot of friends isn't a bad thing. Even if you go through periods of life where you're just like alone, that's not a bad thing. I was so uncomfortable. I genuinely, like, I'm so thankful for that experience that I went through. I'm so thankful that I had this like oh shit moment, because a lot of people don't have that. And even if they do, a lot of people ignore it and they just stay stuck. They literally stay stuck. And I'm thankful that I had that moment and was like, I need to get the fuck out. And I did. Thank God. But a lot of people will stay in that. That's where they find their comfort. That's where they feel most comfortable. They don't want to evolve. Again, it's the Peter Pan syndrome. So I think to summarize this episode and everything that I've talked about, I think it's important to realize that if people are on lower wavelengths than you, in order to keep them in your life, you will have to go down to their level. And that's not fair for you to have to do that. It's not fair to expect less of yourself and of your life in order to keep certain people in it. It's very toxic. You'll never be happy because you're almost in a state of just people pleasing. And if you're constantly trying to make people happy, you yourself will never be happy. And I feel like that's important to remember is like, I got a lot of questions on that. Like, how are you so confident in what you say and do? And like, you know, I'm confident because I'm just real. Like, I stand on everything that I say. Like, people, I get personally attacked every day. Like, nothing phases me. I don't know anything that someone could say to me that would like genuinely actually affect me because I've heard it. I've heard it all at this point. But I think it's just important to realize that it's okay to expect more of yourself. In fact, you should be expecting more of yourself. If you ever want to actually do something with your fucking life, you have to expect more of yourself. If you aren't expecting more of yourself, you're just in this like what are you doing, bro? Anyways, I think I kind of just want to wrap this whole thing up with just saying that like it's okay to love people from a distance. If you don't want to cut people entirely out of your life, again, it is okay to love people from a distance. It's okay to realize you're just at different parts of your life. But I also think you do need to realize that if you are constantly going down to someone's level in order to keep them in your life, you're just never going to be happy. And you're not going to be able to evolve because of their toxic ways, not necessarily your toxic ways. And so you need to be very mindful of that. You need to be very mindful of your oh shit moment. I think a lot of people probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Hopefully I did a good job speaking about it and describing it because I do think it is a thing people go through. So yeah, I would just be very mindful of that oh shit moment and when it happens to you because you know, things happen to people in these situations that should be their rock bottom and it's not. And then you almost become concerned because you're like, if this isn't your rock bottom, what is? And if you stay around for that just because you're scared of, you know, setting boundaries or moving forward with your life because certain people are stuck, you're almost desensitizing yourself to the shit. And you shouldn't have to do that. It's not fair to yourself. So hopefully everything I explained makes sense. People are going to take it the way that they want to take it. I think the people who genuinely know exactly what I'm talking about and know it's a very real thing that can affect your entire life, they're going to understand exactly what I'm saying. And the people that want to make this an issue and pick apart certain things that I said, or, oh, you just, so what, you just can't have fun every now and again? Again, that's not what I'm saying at all. Use your fucking brain for once, you dumb fuck. But anyways, I hope this was interesting. I hope this like made sense to people. I hope when I watch it back, I like can follow along with what I'm fucking saying. This is like my first actual episode, so things are going to be changing for sure. I don't necessarily know exactly what I'm doing when it comes to equipment, lighting, whatever, audio or whatever. So yeah, just hopefully we evolve. Hopefully we figure things out more. But thank you guys for tuning in. And I hope this teaches a lot of people on how to unfuck themselves and not be a dumb fuck.